You missed some important news from the LGBTQ+ community this week. To ensure you are current, we are recapping that important news. Here's what you may have missed.
Let's queer up drag culture. Portland, Oregon will rename a city square after town resident and iconic drag queen Darcel 15. Portland, Oregon is set to rename a public square after the late Darcel 15, a local legend who held the record as the world's oldest working drag performer. On July 7th, Portland announced the momentous decision to rename O'Brien Square to Darcel 15 Plaza in memory of the late legend. The city said the move also celebrated the, quote, vibrant LGBTQ+ history and culture that have shaped Portland, end quote. Portland City Commissioner Dan Ryan said that by renaming O'Brien Square to Darcel 15 Plaza, the city is embracing and celebrating the indelible contributions of Darcel 15 to our city's LGBTQ+ community, end quote.
Let's queer up sports. Lesbian soccer star Megan Rapinoe to retire from sports.
I understand that it is incredibly rare for athletes of any stature to be able to go out in their own way, on their own terms, at the time that they want, in a way that feels really peaceful and settled for them. So I feel very grateful that I'm here and that I have the trust of this team.
Lesbian activist, anti-racist, transgender ally, and two-time World Cup champion Megan Rapinoe announced on Instagram on Saturday that this championship season will be her last. Rapinoe, an Olympic gold medalist from London 2012, will play in her fourth and final World Cup this summer in Australia and New Zealand before returning to her NWSL team, All Reign. Rapinoe told reporters at a press conference, quote, I've been able to have such an incredible career, and this game has brought me all over the world and allowed me to meet so many amazing people, end quote. In 2022, Rapinoe became the first soccer player to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Let's queer up religion. Pope invites priest who runs LGBTQ+ Catholic outreach to synod. An American Jesuit who runs outreach ministry for LGBTQ+ Catholics has been tapped by Pope Francis on Friday to be among participants at a major Vatican gathering of bishops and laypeople. The Vatican unveiled the names of bishops, priests, nuns, and laypersons who will take part in the weeks-long meeting that the Pope has called for in October. Among those chosen is the Reverend James Martin, who has long been a prominent advocate of greater inclusion of the LGBTQ+ community in the Catholic Church. Ahead of the gathering, known as a synod, there was an unprecedented canvassing of Catholics worldwide, which found that the faithful want to see concrete steps to promote women decision-making posts, as well as radical inclusion of the LGBTQ+ community in the Church.
Let's queer up LGBTQ+ civil rights. Asexual lingerie model Yasmin Benoit slammed for calling for protections for ace and aro individuals. A model who served as the first asexual Grand Marshal at New York City Pride has received backlash for her comments about her sexual identity. Yasmin Benoit identifies as asexual, sometimes called ace, which is sexually defined as a person who does not experience sexual attraction. She is the founder of the United Kingdom's first asexual rights initiative. Benoit went viral over the weekend when tweeting from the London Pride Parade, where she marched with LGBTQ+ rights organization Stonewall UK. She tweets, quote, asexual people deserve equal rights. We deserve legal recognition. We deserve protection, end quote. Many people congratulated her for speaking up and representing asexual people, but many replied with negative comments, which she found, quote, annoying.
Benoit, she is the first asexual Grand Marshal for the march.
I cannot express how much of an honor it is to be here in New York City and the United States for the first time. It has been absolutely incredible to be named New York Pride's first ever asexual Grand Marshal. I'm so honored to be able to bring this representation to one of the biggest prides in the country, because unfortunately a lot of asexual people question whether they will be welcomed at Pride. We have always been part of the queer community. We're right there on the Kinsey scale too, but so many do not really go beyond the Q and do not recognize asexual people as being part of this. And unfortunately, there is still a lot of contention about asexual inclusion in these spaces and a lot of division within the community, which is why I think it's particularly appropriate that the theme this year is about strength and solidarity, because we do need solidarity between all the letters and all of the identities within this community, because you cannot uplift all of us if you're leaving some of us.
Let's queer up business. After Supreme Court discrimination decision, Michigan hair salon refuses service to transgender people. When the Supreme Court ruled on June 30th in favor of a Colorado web designer who sought to refuse to make wedding websites for theoretical gay couples, activists and legal experts warned it would open the door to all kinds of businesses discriminating against LGBTQ+ Americans. Days later, at least one such case has popped up. Last week, a hair salon in Traverse City, Michigan, announced that it would not serve transgender clients, comparing them to animals. The Post made it clear that the salon sees discrimination as condoned under a free speech argument, just like the web designer. The post was accompanied by the hashtag #TakeAStand. When criticized in an online review of the business, the salon's owner, Christine Geiger, responded by sticking to her position, saying, quote, "LGB are more than welcome, however, the rest is not something I support," end quote. Geiger's language mirrors the hateful rhetoric circulated by many right-wing politicians about trans people. On Tuesday, after the comments circulated on Facebook and were picked up by local news, Geiger deleted her personal and professional Facebook page and set the salon's Instagram profile to private.
Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ+ community and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ+ community.